Honorable President, Vice President, Speaker and members of Congress, Honorable Governor, Ambassadors, Secretaries, distinguished representatives from the Department of Justice, Health and Social Affairs, Resources and Development, Women's Council, international and regional organizations, academic institutions, and state governments, ladies and gentlemen, my respect to all, and Lenwo. I am Kevin Petrini, Country Manager and Deputy Resident Representative for the United Nations Development Program based here in Pompeii in the Federated States of Micronesia. I am very sorry that I could not be there in person for this Women's Conference, a decade in review, embracing our achievements. It is a pleasure to join you today and to have the opportunity to share more about the transformative work of the United Nations Development Program is undertaking across the Pacific and around the world, and most importantly, here in the Federated States, for gender equality and promote the empowerment of all women and girls. This event is coming at an important time as we currently find ourselves amid the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The theme this year reminding us that there are no excuses for gender-based violence. UNDP operates on the notion of leaving no one behind, and despite efforts globally to push for gender equality, the statistics at present show that despite there having been many positive steps forward, we still have a long way to go if we truly want to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals that work to improve the lives of the most marginalized in our societies. UNDP and the wider UN system is guided in our work by the Sustainable Development Goals. In a recent report from the UNDP looking at human development in our region, our efforts to achieve the 17 SDGs by 2030 will not happen. In fact, our current direction and speed of travel will not see us realize the SDGs until 2064. In every country across the Pacific, pervasive gender inequality remains a barrier to progress, justice, and social stability. It also hinders the achievement of development goals. We recognize that women's empowerment and gender equality are cross-cutting issues that lie at the heart of human development. So what are UNDP doing in the Pacific and the Federated States of Micronesia to accelerate efforts to achieve the sustainable development for all? Firstly, it must be noted that UNDP remains committed to be at the forefront of efforts to promote the empowerment of women and girls through Pacific programs. We also support regional and national efforts to integrate gender equality and women's empowerment. UNDP Pacific is committed to strengthening the capacity of our national partners across the region, and particularly here in the North Pacific and the Federated States of Micronesia, to adopt approaches that advance women's rights and take full account of the many ways women contribute to development. We strive to ensure that women have increased economic control and strengthened political voice and enhanced legal rights. We are also working to remove structural barriers to women's economic empowerment, including unpaid work. Our work here focuses on approaches that transform legal, policy, and social norms to create a sustainable impact on women's economic empowerment. This requires investing in gender-responsive infrastructure, implementing policies that support equal redistribution of unpaid care and domestic work, equal access to assets and land, and other such approaches. UNDP also works to prevent and respond to gender-based violence. We work closely with governments and national and local authorities to address gender-based violence, one of the major impediments to both gender equality and sustainable development. In particular, UNDP supports efforts to ensure justice for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence by improving the skills and knowledge of police officers, judges, prosecutors, and court administrators. UNDP also promotes the strengthening of women's participation and leadership in all forms of decision-making. Our work focuses on increasing women's participation and leadership in a broad range of institutions, including parliaments, Congress, political parties, public administration, the judiciary, and the private sector. We also work to address structural barriers to women's leadership through support of gender equality laws and quotas. In the Federated States of Micronesia, the UNDP Strengthening Gender Machinery Project is a beacon of empowerment, working hand in hand with the national government through the Department of Health and Social Affairs to elevate women and girls through gender-related policy advocacy, income generation initiatives, and access to essential small-scale infrastructures. The project stands shoulder to shoulder with traditional and community leaders in key sectors, fostering income-generating opportunities and livelihoods development in the state of Pohnpei, Chuuk, Kosrae, and Yap. At its core, the project is dedicated to expanding women and girls' access to economic empowerment activities and ensuring their control over clean water and sanitation services. We eagerly anticipate collaborating with key stakeholders and development partners to synergize and strengthen our collective efforts in promoting gender equality and women's empowerment at the community, state, and national levels of the Federated States of Micronesia. Kulo Mulalap, thank you for your time, and I wish you the best of luck for the remainder of this conference. Thank you.